Never, ever, ever put these 5 things on your face after 50. Not if you want to walk into a family dinner and have your daughter say you look rested instead of asking if you slept. I've done makeup professionally for 30 years, and I promise you, the women who look 20 years younger are not spending more money. They've simply stopped making these 5 mistakes. Every single one of them ages you, and every single one has a fix that takes less than a minute in the mirror. Number 5 is the one the beauty industry will never tell you about, because it would cost them millions if every woman over 50 knew it existed. It may be the only thing standing between you and the face you had at 30, so watch till the end. I've done makeup for brides on the biggest day of their lives, for news anchors under brutal studio lighting, and for women in their 80s who walked out of my chair looking like their own younger sisters. Mature skin is not the problem. The routine is. So let's start at the beginning of yours, because that's usually where things go wrong first. Number 1, going straight to foundation on bare skin. I see this constantly. A woman sits in my makeup chair, pulls out a beautiful foundation, and applies it directly onto dry, bare skin. Then she wonders why it looks lovely at 8 in the morning and completely separated by 2 in the afternoon. The foundation breaks apart around her nose, clings to every dry patch on her cheeks, and settles into the fine lines around her mouth. Your skin is the canvas. In Korea, where I trained, we never touch color until the canvas is ready. After 50, our skin simply holds less moisture than it used to. So when you put foundation on a thirsty face, the foundation goes searching for moisture and grabs onto everything it shouldn't. That's why it looks patchy and cakey by lunchtime. The fix takes 30 seconds. A hydrating primer, and the one I reach for most in my kit is the Benefit Professional Hydrating Primer. One pea-sized amount, warmed between your fingertips, pressed into the cheeks, the forehead, and around the nose. It adds hydration, smooths the texture, and gives the skin just enough bounce so everything on top applies evenly and stays put. And here is a small detail that makes a big difference. After you apply it, give it a full minute before you reach for your foundation. Let it settle into the skin. Brush your teeth, pick out your earrings, whatever you like. When primer has that minute to work, your foundation glides on instead of dragging, and it wears like a second skin all day instead of splitting apart by mid-afternoon. If your makeup separates before dinner, this one step will change your whole face. But primer only prepares the skin. The next mistake happens with the product almost every woman over 50 is using wrong. Number 2, piling concealer onto thin skin. The skin under your eyes is the thinnest skin on your entire face, and it only gets more delicate with age. So when you see darkness or shadows there, the instinct is to cover more, another layer, then another. And by lunch, that concealer has compressed into every single crease, and suddenly you have lines under your eyes that were never visible before you put makeup on. The concealer created them. I've watched this happen under studio lights 1,000 times. More product does not mean more coverage on mature skin. More product means more creasing. The Fix is a good concealer used with a light hand, and Tarte Shape Tape is the one I trust because a tiny amount goes such a long way. One small dot at the inner corner and one under the outer edge of the eye. Then, and this is the part that matters, press it in gently with your ring finger. Never drag it across the skin. Dragging tugs at delicate skin and pushes product into the creases. Pressing melts it in so it becomes part of your skin. One more thing while we're under the eyes. Put down the heavy setting powder. A thick layer of powder under the eyes turns soft skin into parchment paper and makes every fine line stand out in daylight. If your concealer tends to move, the lightest dusting with a small fluffy brush is all you need, and only on the spot that actually creases. One thin layer of concealer pressed in, barely any powder, and those shadows soften without a single crease by evening. Now, once the skin looks even, a lot of women stop there, and that flat, one-color face is exactly the next mistake. Number 3, skipping blush or wearing the wrong kind. Think about a young face for a moment. What makes it look alive is color, a natural flush through the cheeks. As we age, that flush fades, and if you even out your whole face with foundation and stop there, you've erased what little color was left. The result is a face that looks flat, tired, and honestly a bit gray, no matter how perfect the base is. Powder blush makes it worse on mature skin. It sits on top of the skin, looks muddy, and emphasizes every bit of texture on the cheeks. The Fix is cream blush, and the Laura Mercier moisturizing cream blush is the one I keep coming back to. One small dot on each cheek, tapped in with your fingertips, placed slightly higher than you think, up on the round of the cheekbone rather than down in the hollow. Placed high, it lifts the whole face. Shade matters here too. After 50, skip the deep berries and the brownish tones because they can read as shadow instead of flush. Soft rose and warm peach are the shades that flatter almost every mature complexion because they mimic the color your cheeks naturally had. That one dot creates the natural, lit from within flush that reads as youthful instead of made up. People won't see blush. They'll just see a woman who looks well rested and healthy. If you're finding this helpful so far, take 1 second and hit subscribe. I share mature skin makeup techniques from 30 years behind the chair every single week, and I'd love to have you here. Now let's talk about your lips, because this next mistake is aging women every single day and almost nobody talks about it. Number 4, wearing lipstick on a bare lip line. As we age, two things happen to the mouth. The natural definition of the lip border softens and fades, and fine vertical lines form around the lips. So when you apply lipstick directly onto bare lips, there's nothing holding it in place. Within an hour, the color feathers and bleeds into those little lines, and your lipstick looks smudged and messy even though you applied it perfectly. A blurry lip line reads as older. A defined lip line reads as younger. It's honestly that simple. The Fix is a lip liner, and the Rare Beauty lip liner works beautifully on mature lips because it's creamy enough not to drag. Choose a shade close to your natural lip color, not the dark liner we all wore in the 90s, because a harsh dark outline is instantly dating. Trace your natural lip border, sharpen the cupid's bow just slightly, and fill in the whole lip lightly so the color has something to hold on to. Your lipstick stays inside the lines, the shape of your mouth comes back almost instantly, and your whole lower face looks more structured. It takes 20 seconds, and it's one of the fastest transformations in all of makeup. And now we've arrived. Number 5, the one I promised you, wearing a foundation that was never made for your skin. Everything we've talked about, the primer, the concealer, the blush, the lip liner, all of it sits on top of your foundation. Foundation is the step that decides whether your makeup takes years off your face or adds them. And the hard truth after 30 years in this industry is that almost every foundation on the shelf was formulated for young skin. Heavy, flat, matte formulas that cling to texture, settle into every wrinkle by noon, and oxidize through the day, which is why so many women turn orange by 3 o'clock and can't figure out why the shade matched in the store. The industry knows this. They also know that mature women are their most loyal customers, so there's very little reason for them to tell you the formula itself is the problem. The foundation I recommend to the women in my chair is the Luxe Color Changing Foundation. It uses color adapting technology, which means the formula adjusts to your exact skin tone as you blend it in. No guessing shades under bad department store lighting, and no oxidizing orange as the day goes on. It was made for mature skin. So instead of fighting your skin, it works with it. It blurs fine lines rather than sinking into them, smooths texture instead of clinging to it, and the finish is natural and breathable, never heavy or cakey. It's that your skin but better look women tell me they've been chasing for years. Apply it the way I do in my chair. One thin layer, blended with your fingertips or a damp sponge, starting at the center of the face and working outward. The warmth of your fingers melts it into the skin, the color adapts as you go, and because the formula is doing the work, one layer is genuinely enough. That's how it stays comfortable and fresh from your morning coffee to the end of dinner. I'll be honest with you, it's not in stores yet. Right now, it's the best-selling foundation on Amazon, and hundreds of women are already wearing it every day. To get it, the link is in the description below this video, or you can simply scan the QR code on the screen right now. There's a coupon waiting for you too, so you're not paying full price. If you change only one thing in your entire routine after watching this video, change your foundation. It's the step that makes every other step work. So let's put it together one more time. Prepare the canvas with a hydrating primer and give it a minute to settle. Press your concealer in gently, never drag it, and go easy on the powder. One dot of soft rose cream blush, placed high, Line your lips before lipstick ever touches them. And wear a foundation that was actually made for the skin you have now. None of this is about covering your age. You've earned every year, and I want you to keep every bit of the character in your face. This is about looking like the most rested, radiant version of yourself, so that when you walk into that family dinner, they see you, not your makeup. If this helped you, subscribe and share it with a friend who's still fighting with her foundation. The link for the Luxe Color Changing Foundation is in the description below, and the QR code is on your screen whenever you're ready. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.